That's very much like marching. You're just going to pick that up and put it down. You don't want to rock back and forth on a basic anchor. Body doesn't go back, forward, back. The body stays positioned over the back foot.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 11 of Swing to the Rhythm. My name is Gilbert, your host. This is Damon, your host, the owner of D'Amico Dance here in Houston, Texas. And I'm one of his students, 12 years. We dance country western and West Coast swing. In this episode, we're going to give you a behind the scenes look at what one of our classes looks like. So you're going to get a view of not just the teaching, but also the students in the class. If you watch the videos online on any of the social media platforms and you're engaging with the content, again, we thank you. So Damon, tell us a little bit about the episode and what they can expect to see.
Wednesday nights, we have created an opportunity for the Houston community and anybody visiting to go out and dance West Coast swing. We want you out. We want you out of the classroom after you've learned some things. We want you working on it. We want you dancing with the rest of the community, getting to know them and becoming part of the dance family here in Houston. And we're doing that at Marcone's at 708 East Tidwell every Wednesday night. And it's a really cool little spot. If you haven't been there yet, it's like a speakeasy. You pull in. It is the Roberts Flooring building. So when you pull up, don't think you're in the wrong place. You'll just enter in that front door, street facing side, and you walk in. There's this little curtain. You open the curtain. It's like Taj Mahal in there. It's a really cool, little speakeasy type spot with a nice dance floor, and we're really enjoying Wednesday nights there at Marcone. So big shout out to them. Last night we had quite a few extra follows. We never know, and that's not always the case. But for you guys out there that are listening and you're local, we could use you on Wednesday nights right now. And if we end up with extra leaders, well, so be it. Then we'll tell the ladies, hey, we got extra leaders out there. And so we'll just keep growing the community. Because we had some extra follows, and because I'm continually asked about anchor step. I mean, it's such a topic of conversation when we're talking about West Coast swing, and most people are still a little bit at odds with how to do it. So the focus last night was really kind of follower heavy, and it was on anchor steps, and we covered a couple of them, and I could just tell by the light bulbs going off and the response from it that it was well received. I think you're going to like the lesson. The leaders are going to get patterns anyway, and so oftentimes if I'm not focusing on some styling or some technical aspects of the dance for the followers, then they're not getting as much out of the class as, say, a leader would who is just learning patterns. And it goes right along with our 10 for 10. So again, if you're someone who's been watching our content, we really appreciate you. We try to get to all the comments. There's a lot of them, but we'll try to get back there into the comment section and answer some of your questions. We've got our 10 for 10 out there and other products that you can find us on Linktree. You can find that going directly to our website at DamicoDance.com. And it's a 10 for 10 anchor challenge. It's $10 for 10 different anchors broken down in great detail. It's actually 12 because we do 2 bonus anchors at the end. So if you're a follower out there that really wants to nail down your anchor, I think that you're going to really like the 10 for 10 challenge. So check that out, and you'll see what we're talking about in the video.
Enjoy.
See you guys soon.
Ladies showed up in the groves like they did. I'm going to give the ladies some real hardcore work on some anchor variations because they all want them really bad, and then we'll just be like props for them and do a couple of patterns, and I'm going to give you a couple of anchor variations as well, but it's going to be heavily focused on the ladies since we have the extras tonight. Okay? Say okay. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So if you would spread yourselves out evenly. So Scott, stay on that row. Drop back and be on that row. Martin, you can keep me join me on this row. Ladies, go ahead and get between, even though we have a lot of extras. So one of you ladies get in front of him. One of you ladies get in front of him. Extra ladies get between couples. Gilbert at some point will be joining us. There you go. Fight. Go ahead. Start a fight. You go ahead. Good. So there you go. Good. There you go. Thank you so much. They didn't want him, so
He's a good dancer.
Grab that sucker. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about your basic anchor real quick first, okay? Can we do that, ladies? Say yes. Just realize that you have to march when you do an anchor. I've been posting some videos, and I've made the joke, and a lot of you have taken class from me for a while, that I have put all 5 of my kids through school teaching ladies how to anchor because you won't listen. Did y'all catch that?
What?
Yeah, thank you. Because you won't freaking march. And if you would march, you'd be closer to doing an anchor that you'd be happy with than whatever the weird crap is you're doing now. All you got to do is march. Are you with me? So ladies, face this way for me, please. And guys, I'm going to get to you in a minute, right? So when you ladies land on the floor, something that I think is going to be, an opportunity for you to really style is the way you take your foot back to anchor, okay? I'm gonna let you ladies decide how to stagger the way that's gonna make you able to see best. So ladies, put your right foot back. This represents the 4 of any 6-count pattern where you did not have rotation or where you had rotation that turned to the left. And you're missing an opportunity to do some styling if you're not really attractively taking your left foot back into that first marching step. So I want you to be very serious about the way you take that foot back. So you're standing on your right, 3 and 4, so you were doing a sugar push, and as you take your left foot back, I would like for you to remember that you need to peel your heel off the ground, and your big toe should be the last toe that leaves the floor. It shouldn't be your second toe, third toe, or fifth toe, because that's going to make your leg open out and make your leg unattractive. So as you go to pick that foot up, your big toe should be the last toe that leaves the ground, and it automatically is going to make your leg more feminine, more attractive. So as you go to pick that up, leave your leg in that posture as it swings through space and place it where you want it for the first step of your anchor. And it's not until then, when you put that foot down, that your hip turns to the left, and that's a natural occurrence because your feet aren't even. Does that make sense? So you ladies have your weight on your right foot, and as you go to pick, this is 4, as you go to pick that up, you're going to bend that knee to the inside, pick that up and place it, and as you put it down, turn your hips to the left a little bit. So now your heart should be facing at this wall. Your and doesn't get enough attention. So as you do the and of your anchor, which toe should come off the ground last? Your big toe. Well, then don't let that roll out to your third toe when you pick that up. Otherwise, you're going to have your legs separate again. So I'm going to make sure that as I pick that up, I pick it up and it feels the same. So I'm going to give it the same quality that my 5 had, and I'm going to put that down for and that's very much like marching. You're just going to pick that up and put it down. Notice that my body is not moving forward when I do that. So you don't want to rock back and forth on a basic anchor. So the body doesn't go back, forward, back. The body stays positioned over the back foot. So when I pick up the front foot and I put it down, I don't need to move my body over it, which is a strange occurrence because in your everyday life, if you stood on that foot, your body would want to be over it. But we're only on this foot for a quarter note. In dancing, we call that a half a beat of music. So I can pick up my left foot and put it back down for my 6 without moving forward over the front foot. And so your brain is telling you you can't do that. So what happens is you go 1, 2, and you go 3 and 4, and you want to go back, forward, back on your anchor because you're so used to having your body over the foot you're standing on. Instead, we're going to stay behind that foot. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm behind my right foot. I'm going to stay behind my right foot when I do my and 6, so there's no rock back and forth. If you decide that you're going to have a little bit of rock back and forth, or your partner is encouraging you to have that, because we do that quite often in the dance, it's called double resistance, you'll know it. And if you wanted to do it, you could do it, but you would learn how to keep your connection the same. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, but you would know that you still need to get back over the back foot before you take off. The problem is when you do it by accident is that you go back forward, and now you're forward and you put your 6 down and you're forward, and it makes your walk awkward. Does that make sense? Yes or no? So place that foot back and go 5, pick up your right foot, put it down, stay behind it, and step down on your 6. And that's your basic anchor. Now keep your feet in this position, and are you over your back foot? Pick up your right foot. Recognize how you feel about that and that your body is back in space. Do you feel that? Your body's back in space. Now step on your right foot and pick up your left and put it right back down, and don't let your body go forward at all. Stay behind your front foot. Now march like that. March, 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 march. And what I want you to realize is that even if I had my foot, see how far in front of me that foot is? Watch this. Can I stand on that foot for that amount of time and not move over it? Yes. And your brain is telling you you can't do that. And your brain is lying. Because you're going to put that left foot down like immediately anyway. If I was to stay on that for any amount of time, of course I would fall backwards. When's the last time you stayed on your and that long? Never, since you started doing this dance. So realize that you can have it way out in front of you and not move your body over it. So get rid of the forward action there. Does that make sense? All right, so you got your weight on your right foot. Draw that back like you're pulling up a stocking. Make that attractive. You're making this nice, tasteful burlesque video. You're going to pull that up and you're going to place it back. Make that attractive. Stop making that ugly on your way backwards to your 5. So you go 5 and 6 and you're done. And that's your basic anchor. What is it? 5, and that's your basic anchor. And now you're already over the back foot. Because you stayed over the back foot the whole time, it eliminates that feeling of you didn't get to settle before the dude leads you out for the next pattern. Because too often what's happening is you're over the front foot when it's time to leave, and so you go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're forward 5 and 6, and you go, he starts to pull, and you go, oh yeah, I wanted to be like that when I was done. So now you're doing that after the fact instead of doing it on 6. So it's going to save you so much time to already be over the back foot. All I'm doing is replacing. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm back. I stay back. Look how quickly I get into my hip, and I'm ready to walk out on 1. So there's not this huge sending yourself backwards when you go to settle at the end. Right? Say right. When you do settle at the end, which has always been like misconstrued, but when you do settle at the end, don't get shorter. And for me, in our brain, the word settle is a problem for me, but everybody uses it. It's the only reason why I use it, because you've heard it so much, because I'd get rid of the word altogether for dancing, because I don't like it. And the reason why is because settle in my head has a certain down connotation to it. So what I see is the girls go 5 and you get dumpy when you're thinking settle. So you get short in your hip instead of pressing against the ground and being tall in your hip when you do that. So have everybody in here has done a little bit of yoga at least once or twice? And if you've never done yoga in your life, what are you thinking? So do a little bit of yoga at least some point in your life, please, because it is the greatest exercise on planet Earth. Okay? It just is. I believe it or I wouldn't say it. I know you teach yoga, but I would say that if you weren't here. It is the best exercise for any person out there that dances, hands down. Okay? Well, when you're doing yoga, a lot of times they'll say root down, rise up. Or if you're doing into tree pose, if you've ever done it before, you're not going to be soft in that hip. You're not going to be short on that side. What you're really doing is pushing away from the ground. So I'm trying to push my head against the ceiling. So I'm being tall on that side. But when you go to anchor, what you're doing is you're getting short over there. You're not supposed to be getting short. Press away from the floor and be tall in your left hip when you anchor, not short in your left hip when you anchor. Does that make sense? Yes? So place your foot back and do that anchoring. You go 5 and press away from the floor. Good. So that's your basic anchor. I hope all of you do that better from this point forward. Okay? When you do that, which direction is your hip going to settle? Say on the line of my feet. Your left hip wants to settle over the foot. Where's your foot? Say back and left. Where's your foot? Back and left. Where's your foot? Back and left. Now, what happens usually, because of information, the information hasn't been great about how to do this. It's why most people's anchors suck for 5 years, is because everybody's thinking backwards. So what you end up doing is your feet are on this line, your left hip foot is over here, but you push your butt straight backwards. And it's the reason why you don't have your balance at the end. You can't effectively move yourself forward. So what direction do you want your hip to settle? Outside of your left foot. So you want your hip to move outside of your left foot, not off your heel, off the side of your foot. That's a very different feeling, and that's happening over IX, right? SIX. So you go 1, 2, and you go 3, and 4, and you go 5, and SIX. That's happening like right away. So at the end of 6, you're already loaded up in your hip. So when your partner moves you through space, you're all ready to drive from that glute and from your IT band on that side, because that's how it feels. Are you with me? Say yes. Okay, cool. So no longer pushing your butt straight backwards. Let it move on the diagonal. Okay? Say okay. Your first variation is what we call an advanced basic anchor. Advanced basic anchor makes your hips settle more naturally. And a lot of you that take my class all the time, you're already doing that, because you know that I like to invite you to take a small step sideways on the last step of your anchor instead of leaving it right where it was. Because oftentimes if you leave it where it is, it doesn't even really feel natural to do anything with your hip. So it ends up being very costume jewelry, very sacrificial, and you're doing something with your hip. But if you simply take a step sideways and let your hip keep going, that's very natural. It makes you want to do that. If you were standing in line at the grocery and waiting because you got chatty Kathy on the cash register and she's having a family conversation with everybody in front of you, and you're like, settle into this hip and settle into this hip while your like ears are smoking because she's taking too long, yeah? Well, you're naturally settling outside your foot. So if you'll just go 5 in, put that left foot in front, and make it pretty on the way back, and go 5 and step sideways. Not any farther back, just sideways. Do that again. So we go 5 and slightly sideways 6. See how your hip wants to keep going? And your hip keeps going until when? Until it's time to leave. So your hip keeps going until it's time to leave. When it's time to leave, don't let it go that way anymore. So it's time to leave and then you send it more, that's awkward. So what you want it to do is you want it to go that way and stop going that way at the moment you choose to redirect and send yourself forward through space. So it's going to get nice and tight at the end of that. Does that make sense? Say yes. So ladies, can you do a sugar push for me? And while we're at it, can you make your 3 and more attractive? Say yes. Is 3 a stopping action or a going action? Is 3 of a sugar push a stopping action or a going action? Good answer. What is it? It's a stopping action. Why is that? You were already going. And so too many ladies are treating the 3 of a sugar push like it's a going action. So you go 1 to go forward, and like, girl, how many times are you going to do that? You are already moving. Stop yourself. Back away from the edge of the curb. Somebody's going to splash you with a mud puddle. Stop yourself. Back away from the curb. That's what's happening on your 3, right? So go forward, make your 3 and pretty. So you go 1, 2, and you go 3 and 4. Place it 5 steps sideways. 6, let your hip keep going. Now your hip stops. When your hip gets that far over there, it makes your right heel want to peel off the floor. Close your thighs. Leave this loaded up. Leave your left heel down. Leave your left heel down. Straight left leg. Send yourself forward. Leave your left heel down. Leave your left heel down. Send yourself forward. Now it peels off the floor behind you after you've driven from the entire foot. Does that make sense? It doesn't really get any more technical than that, but how many of you ladies feel like you're currently doing that when you leave your anchor? There you go, right? So if all you know are the patterns that you currently know, can you make them better? Yes. You know, you're going to have that look that you want. And ladies are very visual by nature. So you're watching girls online, you watch someone like Emmeline, everything is really, 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 really overpronounced, overdone. She's a pro, and everything's like super huge in her arm, and everything's angular, and I mean, it's just, everything's like, and she's amazing. Well, until you're as amazing as the #1 female dancer in the world, I would say you probably need to back off a little bit on that because you don't know exactly how it works, right? This gets you closer to what she's doing. So when she finishes, she always has her feet apart and her body is always in this shape before she takes off. You will not see her take off on a pattern with her body like an I. It's more like a K. Are you with me? And that's because she's having her foot set way over here and then she's driving off that hip. And so you're watching her and you're like, how do I do that? This is how you do that. Are you with me? Yes or no? Cool? All right, leaders, let's go ahead and take a partner here real quick. And let's just do a couple of sugar pushes. What I want, whoever my partner is, what I want, it's fine, we can be this way, is for you ladies to do that first anchor. And then on the second sugar push, I want you to do that second anchor. So what was your first anchor? Leave it right where it is. That's a basic anchor. Second anchor is advanced basic anchor. Step over to the side, not farther back. Do not step back additionally. That's going to mess you up. It's sideways. It was already back. It's sideways. That's promoting your hip moving to the side, okay? 2 sugar pushes in a row. Here we go. 1, 2, plain basic anchor, 5 and 6. How are we doing? Pretty good? Say yes. Good. Leaders, we're doing the same. I would tell you leaders all the time when you do your anchor that you want your stance to be just a little bit wider when you get to 6 because you're a dude. So when you do your 5, I would say take it straight back, 5 and. When you do your 6, I would step slightly to the side and brace myself on the ball of my foot and push myself backwards without closing your feet. Don't close your feet. So you're straddling a creek. I'm straddling a creek, straddling a creek, straddling a creek. Straddle a creek, right? What you want to do is go 5 and 6 and bring your feet together, which makes you look less manly. That doesn't look manly. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Already sending 5 and 6. That's more like it. Did you need to go backwards anymore? No. Why? Because you were already backwards. And you already used your proximity alert getting to the end of that pattern and knew how much rope you had. So when you ladies are mistakenly stepping backwards on 6 further, you're now out of range and your feet are too far apart and your 1 is unattractive. Period. Unless you did what? Attach follow through to it before you left, but your butt's already in another county. Do not step backwards again on 6 unless the leader did what? Accidentally gave you more rope. So if I accidentally gave her more rope, 1, that would be different. 3 and 4 she goes. And I accidentally give her more rope. Yes, she went backwards. Now go ahead and close your ankles. And she closed her ankles there. Why? Because she was like, dude, you surprised me with extra rope. And I don't want my legs to be apart walking out because it's not going to be attractive. So she immediately closed her feet because she's like, I'm too far apart. Let me go ahead and clean that up before I walk out. Does that make sense? Yes? All right, so leaders, we're not going to give her that extra rope. We're going to go ahead and post, okay? So advanced basic anchor, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and straight back, 5, and then over. Did that go over, or did it go back? One more time, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and over, sideways, sideways, send it sideways. Sideways.
I thought we were doing the basic.
Oh, no. Advanced basic anchor. So you're stepping side, sorry, at the end of this one. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and send, and 1, 2. That's more like it. Are you with me? Yes or no? Kind of, sort of, maybe? High five, rotate. There you go. Thank you. How's that feeling? All right? Yes? The sooner you land on your 6, what we're trying to do, because this dance, y'all hadn't been around long enough. This dance, we didn't do an anchor step before. We did what's called a coaster step before. And in a coaster step, you ladies do coasters now. You do a coaster step on the 3 and 4 of a whip. 1, 2, back together, forward. Back together, forward, that's a back coaster. On a sugar push, you do a forward coaster, forward together, back. Otherwise, a coaster step, this is called a side coaster. Y'all have seen that before. Similar to a McNamara, okay? You're like, whoa, you took me back to when I was 4 years old in dance school. But that's what it resembles, okay? So when you're doing a coaster step, back together, forward, that's what we used to do. That's how the dance was taught. Arthur Murray, that's how they taught it. So ladies went 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they went back together, forward on that foot. What was weird is that they tried to stay back. So they would take the foot out there and didn't really have weight, and it was always weird coming out. Over time, the West Coast swing world, as the dance developed and gained in popularity, they decided that they wanted it to have finality at the end of each pattern. They wanted to have separation of pattern so that it looked like the leader was putting the follower in motion. And so instead of the lady already coming through the slot, which is what was happening, because guys would go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and she would go, she's coming at him, and he's like, whoa, crap, let me get out of the way, because she was already moving forward before he ever led. So by doing an anchor step, what happened was the ladies were becoming stationary, and the dude was responsible for moving her through space on the 1, which is more like current West Coast swing today. Are you with me? Yes or no? So what you ladies are trying to do is create separation of pattern. Well, how do you create the most separation? Arrive on the foot on time and take advantage of the whole beat of music before having to walk out on 1. Where a lot of new ladies make a mistake is that they time out the 6 of the pattern too closely to the 1. You delay getting your weight on it. So you're like 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and I'll get there in a second, 5, and you land on it, and then he's pulling you. And so suddenly your 6 ends up being the shortest lived step that you have instead of the longest lived step that you have. And what you're trying to do is create separation of pattern. So you'll see Nicole do a triple and still stand there and eat a sandwich before she comes out on 1 and still be on time, because she's a great time manager. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and she's on the foot standing there, does all this, waits, and then explodes out onto her 1. And y'all are timing it to land go. Instead, get on the foot on the sound. You are the drummer. Land on the sound. 5 and 6. Now you have the most amount of time before you have to walk out on 1, and you'll stop thinking that the leaders you're dancing with are pulling you out early, because that's very rarely the case. In the past, all the ladies were like, I don't ever have a chance to anchor. They're all pulling me early. Come to find out, that was a lie. Come to find out, the ladies were late. That's what ended up happening. It's just the way I walk. I'm like, well, fix it. I hadn't even started teaching dance yet. I was like, you're not allowed to walk like that, dude. That's just messed up. And so you all have that one friend that does some weird shit when they walk like that. But just realize that when you walk, this is how your hips are. They don't go like this. So when you're standing in anchor, your hips are like this. That's weird shit. And so when you finish your anchor, all in your brain, all you want to do is go, there's the line, wind shear, calculator, square. And so what you'll do is you'll square up on your walk on the one, right? And so you want to square up desperately, and it makes you look like a newbie. So what you want to do when you take a step forward on that, they're still uneven. It's not until my legs swing of the 2 that they get even and stay even. What? So it's like this, and I walk forward. Nothing's changed. It's not until the leg swing of my 2, when my left foot actually passes my right foot, that my hips become square again and stay square. Unless what? Unless you receive rotation between 1 and 2 for a prep. Then what happens? Oh, when you're prepped for a spin, one hip is forward. When you're just moving through space, they are not. Does that make sense? Yes or no? So lose your desire to square up your hip when you walk out off your anchor. Okay? It doesn't really get any more technical than this as far as doing your anchor and walking out is concerned. But when you apply these principles to your basic anchor and walking forward, you're dancing as well as the most advanced girls in the room wherever you go. Because that's what you're seeing all the time. Your anchor step and your walk is the exclamation mark at the end of every sentence that you do in dance, right? And so if you continually are doing something weird on your anchor and your walk is funny, you're not considered to be a good Westie, right? Are you with me? That was really good. I hope y'all like that. I know it was like super duper technical tonight, but we had a lot of ladies, so I thought I'd give you some extra time, okay? Thank y'all. Appreciate you. You know, we didn't have y'all sign a waiver, but you're going to be on TV, okay? Yeah, so sue me. I got nothing. Yeah, we're going to be doubling up and doing 2 episodes a week. So we've been doing our podcast, our YouTube show. One of them is going to be more class oriented. And so that's why he was shooting tonight. And so you might see yourselves on the video, and then you get to go, oh, I squared up my hip on the one. You know, like, and then the next time we shoot the episode, you're like, leave my hip. I don't care if I have to blackmail you. I just want you to be a better dancer. Okay, I don't care. Like whatever. Be better. I'm gonna blast you on YouTube. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.